Hello YouTubers. In that AR-15 video I've got on assembling the uppers and lowers, the guy in the video used a press to push some of the pins in, the trigger guard pin, and I believe it was the forward assist pin. His idea was that using a press to push it in was a lot less stress on some of the weaker parts that occasionally people do break driving the pins in. And it looked good to me, and I had this press out here. I picked this press up at a garage sale for $5. So, and it's a jet. I didn't realize it was a jet press. So I thought I'd do some modifications to it and take it downstairs and mount it on my bench in the gun room. Let me get some other stuff here and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, what I want to do, there is a hole in the bottom of this. I'm probably going to take this apart. It feels like it's about a 1/4 inch hole, which I'll check it out and maybe enlarge it. I want to drill a hole in the side to put a set screw in it so that I can put a piece in here. And I want to make a steel, a brass, and a Delrin little shaft to come down here to, push parts together, rather than having to try to use this to do it. I've got this for pushing pins out, but I want to make a block with this to set in there so I have something soft to push against. I'm going to take, this is locked in place. I'm going to take this off, and it looks like it had knobs or something on the end of it at one time. But I've got these round knobs. It's got a 1/4 inch threaded piece in there. I'm going to turn those down and thread them to 1/4 20 so I can screw these knobs on the end. I got a whole bunch of these knobs. I'll paint them up. So there's a little knob on the end to kind of protect your hand. And I may loosen that up so you can pull the shaft and get a little more leverage. But I'm going to clean it up and probably paint it and make some other parts for it. But I'll show you some quick clips of how it's coming along and edit it all together. See how it comes out. Stay tuned. Well, there's one end of my the handle on that press. I took the opportunity while I had it in the lathe to put the knob on it and sand it down so the knob's ready to be painted. Looks like it has been black, then red, then yellow, so it'll be black again someday soon. Don't be like me. I'm not going to grab that knob because my hands are kind of greasy. But don't be like me and assume that you've got a 1/4 20 knob, or that it'll screw onto a 1/4 20 and then turn your shaft down to 1/4 20 and thread it, and then find out that your knob is 5/16 18. So you've got to cut it off and start over. Here's the other end. That one will be right the first time now. But there it is. Nice fit. Get a little paint on it, and that'll give you a nice handle to grab. If you wondered what that noise and popping was, the thermometer on the wall on the other side of the shop said it was like 45 when I came in here and I built a fire. I've been out here for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. The thermometer now says it's about 55. It's a good, comfortable working temperature now. That little, as much as I hate that little fireplace, it does warm it up in here. And then up here on the ceiling, I got a fan to help blow the heat around once it's really cold in here. But I'm working right over here by the wood burner, so it's nice and comfortable. Okay, I've drilled the bottom of the ram. I got a 3/8 inch hole in there. It was a quarter, about a quarter 20, I don't know. And I didn't want to have to screw the pieces in all the time. So what I'm going to do is make the shafts on my little punches, or whatever you call them, 3/8. I drilled a hole in the side of it with a number 7 bit, and now I'm going to tap it quarter 20. So then I'll have a little set screw on the side to lock them in. And I don't know if you've ever done much of this, but I've found that stuff called Molly D is the best stuff when you need to tap a hole. Those holes will come out so nice, and that just is just the right lubricant for these taps. And this is a little spring-loaded tap guide. The back end of the tap has a little hole in it. So after you drill the hole, before you move anything, you just take the drill bit out and put this in. So everything's still lined up dead center on that hole you just drilled. See how it's spring-loaded? So now I have a nice quarter 20 hole right there. Let me go get a bit or a nut or a bolt and see how it fits. Okay, that'll be the ticket. I found a little Allen headed set screw, so it'll set below flush here, and my ram will still be able to make full range of motion. I don't know if you can see down in there, but all I have to do is tighten that down on whatever I use in there. That'll be just right. Let's get on to the next project. Well, there it is, all cleaned up, and I've got it masked off where I don't want paint on it. I'm going to take it outside and give it a good paint job, and hopefully tomorrow put it all back together and have a nice looking Arbor press. Well, what do you think? There she is. I used hammer tone paint made by Rust-Oleum hammer tone paint. There's my knobs. It had a set screw in here that locked it in place. I just didn't like it like that, so I wanted to be able to pull the handle back and really get some leverage on it. I used a set screw in here rather than a bolt, so that it can still go up inside up here to get the full range of motion. I'm going to sand these off tomorrow just to get them smoothed out. They had these in here to lock the jibs or whatever you call them. Well, I found some set screws I had that fit right in there, and they had a little spring-loaded ball on the end of them, so there's a little spring-loaded ball pressing against the jib in there. And this side here didn't have any jibs in it, but that ball would be pushing right against the side on this side. I'm happy with it. I polished all this stuff up when I had it on the lathe. Sanded this down just to get some of the rust off of it. Tomorrow morning, this is after work, it's 11:30 at night. I just came out here and put it together. This was on there, and I didn't put that back on. It's kind of ugly, but I'm happy. I'm going to take it down to the gun room, and I'm hoping I can use it without bolting it down. That way I can put it up on the bench when I need to use it, and then put it away when I don't need it. But the Allen wrench to adjust that. I've got some Delrin. I'm going to put that in the lathe and turn it down to 3/8 inch so it'll go up in there, and then I'll have like a little Delrin punch. I've got a 3/8 inch piece of steel that I'm going to cut off, and then I'll have a steel piece to drive it. And I've got this huge piece of brass. This piece right here is, I think, 5/8 diameter, and it's about 8 feet long. I'm going to cut that off and make several different types of brass punches to go up in here. I got this piece of plastic I'm going to make to put down here on the bottom, cut it off, and I'll make a plate that'll set in here on that. I've got this little one, just something to put a receiver on. It's not going to scratch it up. I might go out to US Plastics and see if they have anything else that might work. Well, I'm going to take this in and get it ready to go on the internet and put it up. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.